Today on DNVR Buffs Live, we've got Rick George, we've got Jordan Seaton, we've got Kaidon Salter, we've got Julian Lewis. We heard from Coach Prime, and a special treat for you guys as you get a behind-the-scenes look at Jake waking up from a 3-hour nap last night at 9 p.m., you should note, after sleeping through dinner. Let's go.
Morning, sunshine.
What'd you just say?
Oh fuck, we had to be there at 8.
Bro, we're late as fuck, bro. We gotta go, bro.
Why did you wake me up earlier, dog?
You missed breakfast, bro.
Why didn't you guys wake me up earlier?
Bro, it's 9 p.m., bro. You just been asleep for a couple hours, bro. You just missed dinner.
Oh my god, bro. You had me fucking losing it, dog.
Oh my God, what a legendary night, man. What a legendary knock on that door, man. You are truly one of one, my brother, bro. Man, you're the best. Talk to the people, bro, if you can. That's legitimately one of the funniest videos I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. You can't even talk, bro. Real tears being shed. When I tell y'all, bro, when I knocked on this man's door, first off, the first part of the story is, I'm going to let him tell, but when I knocked on the door, he got to the door within 3 seconds. No, the first part of the story is that we all agreed to meet for dinner at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. By 7:25, we couldn't get a hold of Jake. We're just like, all right, bro, he's just asleep. We got to leave. So then we were all placing bets. When is he going to wake up and realize that he missed through dinner? And we're like, I'm like, oh, it'll be 7:41. No, we get all the way back from dinner. He still hasn't texted us. So I was like, Scotty, go wake him up so that he doesn't, wake up at midnight still napping. And that's when the story starts.
Corridor says, why do you have the controller waking up?
I'll explain it all. I'll explain it all.
Which was my exact question.
Yeah, so,
oh my God.
We left here. We leave here. I was feeling pretty good when we left here. And we started talking about dinner and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, sweet. This sounds great. Go back to, the room.
We had 2 hours. It's not like it was like a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get back to the room. It's, 5:30 or whatever. Gummies may have been involved.
That makes sense.
People were already
yeah, they
thinking
knew.
about that in the chat.
They already knew. And so I just zonked out. It was
Zonked is hilarious.
It was over, bro. I slept so hard. I didn't hear my phone. I set an alarm. I slept through that. I had a YouTube video on. I had the air conditioner and the fan blowing too. So it was hard to hear stuff. First off.
Yep. Didn't hear all the calls we said.
And my phone was on vibrate, so I didn't hear the calls. I was supposed to hear the alarm. I don't know what happened there. Anyways. I'm knocked out, and I just hear the loudest, scariest. I don't know if someone's trying to break in or like what's going on. Jump up there, open the door. I'm literally still waking up when you saw that.
Bro, one of your eyes hadn't even woke up yet. Exactly. You were only half awake.
Exactly. And then I start putting 2 and 2 together, and I look down at the clock, and you know what? Apple, we gotta talk about this. Can you just put like an A or a P next to the time on the lock screen? Like,
and that was another thing, because when I knocked on your door, it was probably around like 8:50 p.m.
Yes.
Which is like when around about an hour later when we planned to get here this morning. So when you woke up, you were thinking that you were an hour late to what we had to do.
Yeah, already. And I was like, so I started putting it together. I was like, shit, we gotta go, man. Like, and you guys see me like
fixing his hair.
Yeah, you saw me messing with my hair.
Turns off the Xbox.
Because I just woke up from a nap and I was like, well, just fix the hair, put on a shirt, and we'll get down there and like grind this thing out. And so the reason why I had the Xbox controller is I brought the Xbox because that's my YouTube machine. So I was watching YouTube when I fell asleep. My controller was next to me. And so there's a video going, so I paused the video as I was getting up, so that's why there's a controller in my hand.
I love that this will probably be our most viewed show in months.
Yes.
And that is also the show that this story just led off with. Like, we're going to have a lot of replay views on this. Everyone's going to watch that because they're coming to see Jordan Seaton and Rick George and Julian Lewis and Kaidon Salter. So, legendary.
Lord.
By the way, you missed out on one of the best dinners we've ever had.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord.
Should we, do we have a headset?
Yeah, I'll give him mine.
All right.
All
We got a special guest.
Changing the show on the fly right now. We have a lot to get to, but someone is walking in to the set as we speak. Someone you all know very well.
Yes,
He's been on the show many times.
Friend of the program.
I'd say so.
My dog.
Alejandro Mata.
Alejandro Mata joining the show. We're going to get him a headset here in a bit. Yeah, I ended up getting a Whataburger DoorDash for dinner.
Bro,
So
how
I
panicked were you in that moment, bro?
I told you, bro, you saw it. Like, I was just, I told you. Scott was like hanging out in the room for like an hour after this. What's up, Mata? Nice to see you. You joined.
Good to see you, my boy.
Came at an interesting time for sure.
So Scott's in there hanging out, and he's in there for an hour, and like for 30, 45 minutes, I'm just telling Scott like, oh, bro, I gotta calm down.
Bro, still like hyperventilating like 40 minutes later.
Losing my mind.
What's up, dude?
Mata, what up? What's up, man?
Good to see you, brother. How you feeling today?
I feel great, man. Kind of tired right now, but, it's fine.
Has it been a long day? You've been answering a lot of questions?
A lot of questions and a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, a lot of everything, to be honest.
They getting you with the hard hitters? What's the hardest question you've had to answer today?
So they try to ask me about Coach Prime's health, but my man over here pulled me away, thankfully.
I bet you guys could guess who he's pointing at.
But no, apart from that one, they asked me who has better football in what state, high school football.
Ooh.
What was your answer? I asked JuJu that earlier.
What do you think I said?
I think you said Georgia.
I did say Georgia.
See, that's what I expected JuJu to say, being from Georgia. You know what he said? Texas.
He kind of sold you guys out.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. He's from Carrollton, so it doesn't count.
Oh, shots fired.
That's crazy.
What's it been like, representing the team out here? I mean, you saw Mate kind of do this last year. I know you guys' relationship, you're really close. Just what's it like for you now going through this?
No, it's great. Being able to like follow his steps into like the leadership role in that room it's amazing. It's being able to be like known and handpicked by Coach Prime himself is definitely a blessing.
What is it like playing for a coach that has that type of respect for special teams? Because I don't know, are there any other special teamers out here?
Here in like as in
at media day,
like players.
I have no idea.
Okay, I feel like kickers are kind of a brotherhood. You would know if there was another kicker here.
He's like, no, I'm worried about the bus.
Yeah, more pretty much.
Either way, what's it like playing for a coach that would send a kicker to media day?
No, it's great. Knowing that I have that relationship with him and that trust with him, it's great.
What's it been like working with Coach Pollock this spring, this offseason, a little bit more kind of closely as he's now the special teams head coach, something you guys didn't have the last couple of years?
Something I respect about him is that he's a little more hands-on.
Yeah.
As in, he's trying to get us like people to help us our technique, like have an actual like kicking coach, because he knows that he doesn't know how to kick. He can't coach it.
Right.
So he gets other people to like help us, like, hey, contact this guy, maybe he can help you, and that's something I respect.
Do you like that he's also from Georgia?
I do. He came and visited me. He's the reason, or he was my recruiter.
Really?
The Jackson State.
Oh,
actually.
okay, nice.
Yeah.
That's dope.
What was the summer like, just working with Coach Swayze and maybe you just kind of going up, taking a bit more of a leadership role too?
No, it's been tough, bro.
Yeah,
it's been tough. I've been trying to survive every day, and it's just rough. We're running like a freaking soccer team out there.
Yeah. Did you run more like in prep for soccer or for this off season?
Definitely for soccer. Like conditioning over there, it was like the main thing that I remember was suicides, but every yard line. So 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, all the way down.
Oh my God.
Lord Jesus.
And then the hardest one, or the hardest two, this is like tied. It was called 400s, where you would have to run around the whole field in like
dude.
a certain amount of time. I forgot
Yep.
the seconds. And it was bad because I was a freshman and I was running with the senior track team, so it wasn't. It just wasn't favorable. And then the other one was hundreds, but you don't really have a rest. Your rest is when you jog back. So you have like 18 seconds to make it to the one side, and then 45 seconds to jog it back. And then it comes. Then the 18 seconds keep going down. Everything keeps going down. So you have less rest and less time to make it in. So it was just terrible.
I'm starting to remember why I switched to playing golf.
No, yeah.
Them Buffs going to be conditioned this year. I'll tell you that
Use
much.
that altitude, man.
Oh, yeah.
No, for real.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, a lot is being made about the quarterback competition, but I think there's also another competition that's pretty, spirited, right? I mean, they brought in Buck Buchanan, who's has a big leg on him.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do for you, having another guy who is, kicked, was the guy in terms of the kicker at Louisiana Tech, kicks some big kicks, has a big leg. What's it just been like being around him and kind of having somebody to kind of maybe compete with?
No, he's a great guy. He's on. They split us into teams of 2 every rec, and I'm the one working out with him. So we're always pushing each other. We're always like lifting with each other. So I'm getting to know him. He's a little quiet right now, but it's okay. I'll get him out.
Yeah. Still early.
Yeah, exactly. But no, all spring ball, it was great. Working with him and competing against him, it was great.
That's awesome.
I think last offseason when we talked to you, you had talked a lot about extending your range. Have you been able to do that even more this offseason?
Oh, no, yeah, definitely. Freaking, I went home, last week, and my kicking coach, my local kicking coach was there, and, we worked on things, and even though my technique was all over the place, I was able to kick, 50 plus, between 50 and 55 very consistently, so proud of that.
Go crazy.
Awesome, man.
Love it, man. Well, we got to let you go, I think, but Mark is checking in the chat.
Is he?
He's saying what's up. Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, let's go.
What's he saying?
He said, ta.
He said, ta.
Mate.
We'll appreciate you, Mata. We'll see you back in Boulder, bro.
For sure.
Love the
Appreciate you, bro.
mustache, too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're looking good,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you.
My mom hates it.
Good seeing you, bro.
Another late addition to the show, but we are
Yeah, you guys are just
delighted
getting
to take him.
everything.
Yeah.
What is
DJ
up?
was
One
good, bro.
of the best cornerbacks in college football joining the show,
Yes, sir, Ski.
DJ McKinney. What's up, man? How you
y'all
doing?
I'm good.
What's it like being out here kind of representing your team?
Man, it's an experience for sure. It's fun talking to all these people. Some people asking wild questions. But yeah, it's an experience for sure.
Yeah.
I asked Mata, what's the wildest question you've been asked today?
What did Mata say?
Well, I guess I asked him what's the toughest question you were asked today. He said someone was trying to press him about Coach Prime's health.
The weirdest question I got was somebody asked me how often do I change my bed sheets. Yeah,
That's wild.
that was weird.
I just feel like you shouldn't ask another person about what they're doing in their bed.
That's weird.
We tried to tell you
stranger,
you
too?
get some weird ones, bro.
Yeah. That's why I say it's been an experience for sure. Yeah.
That's funny. Hey, the commissioner yesterday, Big 12 commissioner, mentioned that there are 9 quarterbacks returning to the Big 12 that have thrown for over 2,400 yards last season. There are a lot of good quarterbacks in this conference. How exciting is that for you to know that damn near every week you're going to be going against an elite quarterback and probably a really good receiver too as well?
Yeah, it's exciting. My secondary, we up for the challenge. We trying to get our hands on some of them balls while it's in the air for sure.
Pause.
He saved it with it in the air.
I mean, last year, DJ, you got a lot of attention because you're playing opposite of Travis. This year you're kind of coming in being the guy. Is there maybe a mentality change or maybe just a little change in how you approach, certain matchups because of that factor that you're the number one guy?
Nah, it's not really a change. I'm going to approach it the same way I always do, make sure I diagnose the film, do some research on the OC, ask my coaches what they think about the game plan and everything going in, and then just go out there and execute for sure and dominate.
A lot of change in your secondary back there, but one person who is coming back is Preston. What was it like for you finding out that he was going to be back in the room?
Man, when he told me he could come back another year, it was exciting, Just another guy I could trust out there with me, just balling out with him, His season kind of got ended early a little bit last year, so just seeing him able to, get another chance at it, it's a blessing for real.
I think Coach Mathis is one of the most slept-on coaches on the staff for what he does with the cornerbacks in the red zone, I believe, in particular for you guys defensively. How would you describe kind of his coaching style and how he kind of gets the best out of you and the rest of the guys in that room?
He like a Albert Einstein genius. You know, Albert Einstein got that crazy hair a little bit. Coach Mathis got his own little crazy philosophy a little bit, but it's genius.
For sure.
It's genius. It works.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You guys brought some more players in, obviously. I mean, Tyreekis, Noah. Just what have you seen from those new guys in the secondary? Even guys like TJ, you know, young guys who've been with the program.
You know, I just see dogs. You know, they hungry, they competitive. We all competing in the weight room, competing when we going against, you know, the offense and drills and everything. So yeah, I just see hungry guys that's ready to get out there and show the country what they can do.
This would probably be a bigger deal if your coach wasn't literally Deion Sanders, but at Pro Day, I saw you talking to Champ Bailey for a while.
Yeah.
And that's a guy who I grew up, you know, looking up to, playing for the Broncos. What was that experience like? And I felt like you guys talked for a long time. Like, what did you glean from him in that experience?
Man, it was just amazing to just even be able to talk to him, you know, had the opportunity to pick his brain on certain things, you know, certain techniques. We were talking about certain games he played in, you know, and then just what he thinks about today's game and everything, you know. It was just cool being able to talk to him.
What's it like having that opportunity to, like, not only talk to Coach Prime, talk to Champ Bailey, like you're constantly being able to be surrounded with some of the best ever at your position?
I feel like that's just an experience you can only really get at Colorado, honestly, you know, having guys who've done it, been in your position and excelled at it, you know, walk in your facility and you being able to talk to them is just amazing.
When you got that pick against your former team in the regular season finale last year, Oklahoma State, and you took that John to the crib and you did a little celebration.
Yeah.
Was that planned? Was that a spur of the moment thing, or was that something you was like, nah, if I get this, I'm gonna do this?
What's crazy, I tell everybody this, like I swear this happened. I had a dream that something was gonna happen. Like I had a dream I was either gonna get a pick or just something.
Like night before? Dream?
Yes,
that's crazy.
The night before, and it came to my mind and I just did it.
That's a
manifestation.
Manifestation,
for sure.
into reality. Yep.
That's what's up. Is that probably your favorite moment of your college career so far?
Yeah,
that was lit.
Last one for me. I mean, just how's the team looking? You know, it's a year in transition. A lot of people, you know, nationally at least, they look at Travis and Shador leaving and they say this team isn't going to be nearly as good as it was last year. But, you know, we look at it. You guys are so much deeper. Just how does it feel, you know, going out to practice now, maybe compared to this time last year?
Yeah, last year we was definitely star-studded for sure, you know. But this year I feel like they set the foundation last year, so we just ready to, you know, make it grow. I feel like the guys we have are, like I said, hungry. They understand what they got to do. They understand that our coaches are here to, you know, help us and blossom. So I feel like we just going to go out there and, like, again, show the world what we can do.
Last one for me. Seeing yourself, you know, go in mock drafts and stuff in the first round and things of that nature, like, what does that feel like from your perspective?
Again, it's a blessing for sure, you know, but I don't really pay, like, I have people send me stuff, but I don't really pay too much attention to it because, you know, I got to keep the main thing, you know, that's my guys, my coaches, the Colorado program, and, you know, at the end of the day, winning the Big 12 championship.
Love. It was good chopping it up with you, DJ. It was
It's always a great time with y'all.
Hell
See you soon.
bro. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Good
we'll
to
see you soon, bro.
Definitely.
There he is, DJ McKinney. Got Alejandro Mata, too, and we didn't even get to what we prepared earlier today.
Yes, sir.
Let's take our first break, and then we'll get into all that stuff. And we got to Coach Prime. There's a lot. Shout out to our homies over at Coors Light. You know, about 6 o'clock, 6:30, the doors here at the Star in Frisco will close. We will be on our way to the airport. But I think the odds are pretty high that a couple Coors Lights will be consumed between
Airport Coors Light?
Yeah. It just hits different like that. Hits different because it's Coors Light, too. Come hang out with us at the DNVR bar. About 55 days away from football season.
Sounds about right.
We're getting there, but make your plans. Come hang out with us there. Watch some games with a bunch of Buffs fans and cheer on the team with a Coors Light in hand. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get it delivered straight to your door by visiting CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Cake Mortgage.
Cake.
I've actually experienced this in the very early days of this company, before we were really a company and we were just a collection of creators with a dream. And we weren't all on W-2 salaries.
Right.
And what happens with that when you go and try to inquire about buying a house, which I did in the very early on, before I was really in a position to, is they basically just don't count it. They just say, like, yeah, that's cool that you got that, but it just doesn't really work for us. Until something like Cake Mortgage came around, which makes it possible for people who are self-employed, people who are freelance, doing what they can, grinding, and, you know, maybe you are successful enough. You want to make that jump to buying a house. You want to go to Cake Mortgage so you can get it done the right way and be treated fairly, even though you might be on a slightly different salary plan than what most people are used to. So you can head to the link to get started. Check it out. They're really doing a great job taking care of those people out there who are self-employed, doing their own thing. So, shout out to our friends over at Cake Mortgage. Cake Mortgage Co. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, so Coach Prime took the stage about an hour ago. First time really hearing from the man. We didn't hear from him much this offseason. Been dealing with some health struggles. He said, I mean, he's got beef with the Athletic now. They tried to ask him about it and
Gave him the stiff arm.
Gave him the stiff arm. What's up?
Love, Unc.
Hey, appreciate you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Ski. No, appreciate
Always.
you, for real.
Always.
Be safe.
See ya. So Coach Prime, he wasn't going to talk about his health today, but he did reveal quite a few things. This coaching staff doesn't seem to be done yet, it seems. And all the people in the chat, this one's for you, asking about Byron Leftwich. Coach Prime addressed some new changes potentially coming to see his coaching staff.
Our coaching staff, this is without Byron Leftwich, which I'm praying that he does the right thing, and Mike Zimmer.
So there you go.
That's a hard cut.
Well, because he that's what he did. He just mentioned it briefly. Then he goes 170 years of coaching experience, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, wait, bro, you just like skipped by that? Like,
yeah, so that was there was a lot to like unpack in that one quick little quote.
Yeah.
So was he talking about both of those guys potentially joining?
I think so.
Or was he saying that like Leftwich and Zimmer are like, I don't know. It was just interesting the way that he said it. Like,
yeah,
he definitely needs to clarify at some point what he was talking about. I took it as that he wants them both on staff, and I mean, obviously the Byron stuff came out months ago, but and Zimmer's been connected to this program for years.
Yeah, and it sounds like from reading the tea leaves that the Leftwich stuff wasn't completely in stone when it was leaked, which explains some of the consternation around the reports, if you will. And so that's an interesting one. But, yeah, I guess it's another thing for us to keep an eye on. We're going to get a Where's Leftwich in the chat every day.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like at least like there's an open invitation. Like there have been conversations had, and Coach Prime, the rest of that staff are just waiting on final word from Byron Leftwich and Zimmer of when and, you know, I guess how they'll kind of be included into this coaching staff. But I think about a tweet that T.C. Lewis, JuJu's father, had earlier this offseason when kind of the news broke of Leftwich potentially joining the staff, where he was like, this is a crazy blessing, like a one-on-one situation for Julian to be in, learning from, you know, under Pat Shermer, under Byron Leftwich, who have, you know, a ton of experience, both playing and coaching in the NFL level. Like, that would just give this quarterback room, Kaidon obviously included, the rest of those guys in this offense, I feel like just a real jolt if Leftwich were to be added to the staff, which would be awesome.
That add like another 60 years of coaching experience or playing experience combined onto this team.
Yep.
That's insane.
It is.
So that's all we got. I can't tell you anything else about the situation.
And one other thing just to add about Coach Prime's health, there was a report from Matt Mosley.
Yeah, Matt Mosley.
Who said that he talked to Coach Prime. Coach Prime essentially said like he wants to be able to address the team and kind of share the story with them before he shares that story with the media, which just you have to respect.
And he said that will be happening in the next couple of weeks. And as Unc told us, I think yesterday, they report for camp on the 28th, Monday the 28th, which is, you know, less than 3 weeks from now, to about 2.5 weeks from now. So I assume we'll be seeing Coach Prime in Boulder around then, and I'm sure his situation, his story will have been told by then as well.
That being said, though, he was Coach Prime on the podium.
Oh, yeah.
He was 100% himself. I mean, walked in completely confident, most confident person in here, like
Definitely.
cracking
Always.
jokes,
Per
like
usual.
Asked me how I thought he looked.
yeah, exactly. So let's get to that. Here's RK's question from today's press conference. QBs.
Hey, Coach Ryan Koenigsberg from DNVR. First of all, how are you feeling
What's
today?
going on, boss?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Don't I look good?
You look great.
Well, thank you. I look good. I'm feeling good.
Your quarterback room also looks great. You have
Yeah.
two really talented players.
We brought both of them because I don't know which one's going to start.
My question to you is, would you be comfortable with a situation where both guys played?
Yeah. As long as they're doing their jobs and we're winning, we definitely want to continue to develop JuJu, but Kaidon is unbelievable. Kaidon's off the chain. He's been there, done that. He can get the job done. I wouldn't have brought him here if I didn't trust him. But JuJu is coming on around the mountain when he comes. And I love him. I love what he brings to the table. I don't know how it's going to play out. As long as it plays out, we can't lose either way with either of those two.
I mean, that's pretty much what he's been saying since both of them showed up.
Pretty
That
consistent.
It's neck and neck. That's what Unc has been telling us too.
Yeah.
So that's been
There he is.
that's been the situation.
You don't bring both of them if you don't think they both have a legitimate shot to play a lot of football and
was
help you win football games this year. And I think with JuJu especially, like Coach Prime has seen a young quarterback kind of develop under his tutelage and his own son. And I think he knows, Coach Prime knows that if you want JuJu to be who we all expect him to be, who he can be, you got to give him early opportunities. And that might not be include him being the week one starter, but as a freshman,
snap one starter,
right, or a snap one starter even, right? But as a freshman, he's gonna play, and that's what you do when you land a 5-star talent. You know, somebody is talented as a passer, as a quarterback, as Julian Lewis is. So I think everything Coach Prime has been saying about the quarterback situation, which can be probably a sensitive topic, he's really, I think, killed every answer in obviously a good way.
Yeah, and we're in kind of like a weird reverse order of like when we talk to people and when we're showing it on the show.
Yeah.
But part of my question to him relates to a quote that Rick George had talking to us about the quarterbacks earlier today, which you guys will hear a little bit later on in the show. But I've been steadfast in the belief that both quarterbacks are going to play, and I'm going to be leaving Big 12 Media Days thinking even more strongly in that opinion.
Exactly. I mean, the situation that reminds me the most of is a couple years ago when Michigan brought in J.J. McCarthy as a true freshman, and they had Cade McNamara, who was already a vet. I think he took him to the CFP the year before. Mm-hmm. It ended ugly. J.J. comes in, and I mean, it's a different situation because Cade was on the team before, you know, like he was the starter previously. But J.J. would just go in there, and because he was so talented, like you couldn't keep him off the field. You just had to put him in there to see what he had, and like Scotty said, get those early reps in. So,
and I think with this especially, like, I really want Leftwich with eyes on this situation. Like, him being another person that Coach Prime can, like, take the opinion of and help him make this very important decision. And just kind of, like, balance it throughout the season as well. I feel like Byron Leftwich is the perfect kind of guy to kind of oversee this kind of quarterback battling situation. And not that Pat Shurmur isn't, not that, you know, other coaches on the staff aren't, but I feel like he is uniquely kind of positioned with his experience and background to kind of help this situation.
Totally. Last thing from Coach Prime, he was asked about the wide receivers. Obviously 4 drafted. Nationally, there's a lot of questions about this room. So what do you have to say?
They are awesome. I can't wait to unleash them. They're great. Now, you got to understand, they're replacing some dogs that all of them will be in a professional, all 4 of them will be in a professional camp from a year ago. But these young men are unbelievable. I can't wait till the world get a glimpse of these receivers. We have some youngsters from freshmen on up that can flat out go get it. And I'm proud. I'm proud of our recruits, our coaches. I'm proud of what we've brought into Boulder, Colorado.
You know what stood out to me from that quote? He goes, from freshman on up. And
another
again,
guy you're going to hear a lot about today.
Exactly what I was going to say. You're hearing these interviews a little out of sight, but you're going to hear the name Quentin Gibson and the nickname Q6 quite a bit today. And I feel like that's probably one of the names that Coach Prime had in mind when he said freshman and up. Quan Alex Farrakhan Jr. as well included in that. Yep. Talented guys.
Yeah. I mean, no surprise to us that Colorado's going to have strong wide receivers. Is anyone ever going to catch on outside of Boulder?
I was going to say, outside, nationally, shit, you let them tell it. Receiver room,
I might go on a slight diatribe here, though, but people want to just believe that things are bad. So they're actively avoiding any information that would lead them to believe otherwise. And you could go on to a whole thing about the world that we live in today and how prevalent that is. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's even down to, like, I can feel it in social media comments that, like, people are rooting for Coach Prime's health to be bad because that will be, like, something that they can dunk on Coach Prime fans about. Yep. And it's just, like, really disgusting.
Sick.
But to go back to the wide receivers, it's like people don't want to learn about Colorado's new wide receivers.
No.
Because they're like, oh, they lost all the guys, they must suck now. Yep. They don't want to learn about the new quarterbacks because they lost Shedeur, so they don't have that anymore. Like, they don't want to know about DJ McKinney or anything like that. Like, it's ignorance is bliss almost from them because they get to just hate freely, and then they'll have to do the same backtracking that they've had to do the last 2 years when the guys get out there and they see, oh my God, Omari Miller's a superstar.
Yep.
And Sincere Brown, where did this guy come from? And Q for 6. Yep. You know, this guy was a National Player of the Year for Max Preps. Like, how did we not know about Colorado getting him?
That's the thing that makes me kind of laugh because right now it's obviously a hot topic. Everyone's, trying to dunk on CU for their, lack of success in recruiting or whatever right now. But it's like, okay, then did you look at the 11 guys they brought in last year and 3 of them being receivers and one of them's National Player of the Year? Like, it's all out there. It's just obviously a double standard and selective kind of bias from them all. So.
And we were talking about it a little before the show. Like, I think it's so funny how people tried to downplay Travis and Shedeur all season last year. They're not that good. Travis is a snap merchant. Shedeur not like that for real. And as soon as they leave, they use those same 2 guys as a reason why Colorado isn't going to be nice.
Such a good
so they
point.
weren't nice last year, but now that they're not here, Colorado ain't going to be good.
That's such a good point.
It's crazy. That's just where we're at with it, and we're back to where we were around this time last year, where nobody really believed in it. They'll see soon.
Yep.
All right, so that's it from Coach Prime. We got a ton of interviews to get to.
Real quickly, we just got a poll. We just put a poll in the chat. Which quarterback interview should we play first? Y'all go vote. Let us know, Kaidon or JuJu.
And if you vote yes or no, you're throwing away your vote. You're throwing away your vote.
It's a third party. Don't do that.
So, whichever one we play first, don't read into it. Just you guys picked it.
If you vote no, I just assume you don't want either.
All right, let's take our last break, and then we'll get to all these interviews we got.
I think we have 2 more breaks. Maybe just one.
Yeah, I think it's just one. Great. Appreciate you.
Are we good? Shout out to our friends over at Game Time. Man, you got to get on it. Again, 50-some days away from the season starting. We got 7 home games this year. You get an extra opportunity to come to Folsom Field, watch the Buffs play on that beautiful new turf. Not just the Buffs, though. Broncos games, NFL games, NBA, NHL, MLB, theater, concerts, all kinds of stuff. Hit up our friends over at Game Time, and they make it super easy to buy tickets. You can see the view from your seat, all that good stuff. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. What time is it?
Game time.
Shout out to the squad over at Empire today, y'all. The Colorado Buffaloes have a great and amazing home field advantage thanks to the friendly confines of Folsom Field, which look I think even better now with the new turf. We got some news from Rick George here in a little bit about that new turf, but that home field advantage at Folsom Field, that's an advantage that you should have at your home, on your floor. And Empire Today is the place, is the people who can help you do that. Why? Because Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Empire Today lives and breathes flooring, and they will be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game over at Empire Today. You get clear, you get upfront and all-inclusive pricing, plus you can schedule installation as soon as the very next day because don't nobody like to wait. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount. Just use the promo code DNVR. You heard that right. $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit Empire Today /DNVR for full details. shout out to the squad over at Empire today.
All right, lots to get to. Rick George.
Two things really quick. One, as you guys can see on camera, they've packed us in here quite tight here on Radio Row. Yeah, we should have started asking him questions.
Yeah.
Two, have you guys ever noticed that when we show up to an event, like day one, everyone's kind of like side-eyeing us, like, who are these guys? What are they doing? Day two, everyone's like, what's up, boys?
Yeah.
It happened to the Super Bowl. It happened here.
100%.
It's funny that way.
We're just really like that, you know?
Yeah. Facts.
We just have fun. So then people notice it and they're like, oh, those guys must have fun.
I think we're the only people who threw on the cornhole the last 2 days.
I'm excited for people to see that video.
Oh yeah.
We got a video coming out. We played cornhole against Big 12 foes, and we put some stakes on it.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, here it is. Your AD, Rick George. Colorado Athletic Director Rick George joining the show again. Welcome back, man.
Great to be back.
Friend of the program at this point.
Absolutely.
Friend of the program, that's right. And so are you. So
Thank you.
We got
Appreciate
that going for us. Yeah.
Obviously out here, Big 12 Media Days, just a new team, kind of a new era too. Just how excited are you to watch this team, 55 days, whatever it is, out on the field?
Yeah, look, I'm excited about this fall. I think we've done a great job in the off season. I know the guys are working hard with coaches back in Boulder and doing a great job, with the workouts and all that kind of stuff. And, just seeing the guys that are here today, DJ and Jordan and Kaidon and, JuJu and Mata. I mean, just having those guys here. Gosh, I look at DJ McKinney, I'm like, man, that's what a corner looks like. I mean, and so it's great to, kick off the year with this and the season, and it's going to be exciting.
Obviously, year 3 going into the Coach Prime era. From your perspective, how far has this thing kind of come under Coach Prime? And I guess kind of what are your expectations a little bit for year 3 this fall?
Look, I think the way things have gone the past 2 years, I'm really pleased with the progress that we've made from year 1 to year 2. And even now, year 2 heading into year 3, I feel like we're in a really good position. So I think we've positioned ourselves well for the future. And when I talk about the future, I'm talking about this fall and beyond that. Yeah. Locking Coach Prime down was really important for the next 5 years. And for us, we need to win. We need to win at a high level. We need to play in bowl games every year. And we need to be and we're beyond relevant now. We're in the mix with the top programs in the country, and that's kind of where we wanted to be, and we're at that point now. Now we've just got to just double down on it and do the things that we need to do to be successful in the future, and we'll continue to do that.
Rick, there's probably been a couple times where we were sitting at Media Day and there was going to be a quarterback competition in fall camp. I don't think there has been a time where there was a quarterback competition of this caliber. What does it feel like from your perspective, kind of getting ready for fall camp, knowing that, hey, one of these guys is going to win the job and they're both high caliber quarterbacks?
Look, they're both high caliber quarterbacks. They're different. And I think, we've got to make sure, and I know we will, but we'll be ready to run whatever offense we need, because they could both play in every game. You never know. I mean, they're that talented that there could be some mix there. And so I think even if one of the two wins the job, the other one's not far behind, and they're that close. And I think that's what's exciting, because they bring different things to the offense, and we've got to be able to adapt and adjust to who's ever in that game, and I know we will. And I'm excited for that, because I think it'll really keep the defenses off balance a little bit.
Yeah. So I think the start of this month was like the official start of like the revenue sharing and all that, right? How has that gone? What has that process been like? I mean, already, like
it's kind of funny. We've talked about it. I mean, we've been preparing for this for 10 months. When this first came out, we're like, okay, we got to get a plan. We got to have a strategy. And I would tell you that when she made the final approval, it was like, okay. Like we knew what we were going to do. And she didn't alter, the judge didn't alter the course of where we thought it would go. So really for us, we've been ready. And when it became that day and she said yes, and at midnight the clock struck 12 or whatever, we were ready to go. And we're in a good place, and we're going to continue to do what we need to do to be successful. And our coaches have been great about it. Our student athletes have been great about it. And the one thing that I promised our student athletes and our coaches is that, one, we wouldn't eliminate any programs, and we didn't. and 2, that we were going to provide the student athletes the same benefits that we've been providing them, and we're going to do that. And it's going to continue to allow us to have success doing those 2 things.
Another thing with that, though, obviously the revenue sharing and the payments and all that is a big thing. Do you think these guardrails are sustainable? Like, this is a good path that we're on for the sport, for college football?
Yeah, look, I've already heard comments about the clearinghouse and some deals getting approved. A number of them aren't because they're not in that zone where they need to be, and I think that's important. I think it's really important that we get off to a really good start. Look, I think this year's going to be a little bit choppy because it is new and it's something that everybody's doing. And, look, our biggest challenge is how do we, we're going to provide the $20.5 million to our student athletes. Every one of our student athletes will benefit in some way. Obviously, there'll be a big emphasis on football, men's and women's basketball. But we've got to figure out, how we can sustain this over time, because you just don't go from one season and then the next season you got $20 million you got to figure out. And so we've done a really good job in this past fiscal year of eliminating some expense. We haven't filled some positions. We're looking at other opportunities for us to save money as we go into this fall. We've reduced some of our operating budgets to be able to get to that number. We've also done a lot of things on the revenue side. We just had a 3-day concert with Fish, and we've got other things coming up. We got another concert with John Summit. We replaced the turf, and it's fantastic. I think our fans are going to love it. And we've got 7 home games, which is really beneficial. We also put more season tickets in the market, which is really going to help us. We sold all those out. We just got to continue to sell tickets, and we've got to look at ways that we can maximize our revenue, because we want to, in the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be another realignment. And it's really important that we're in the middle of those discussions, and I think we've positioned ourselves well today, and it's what it looks like in the future. And so, I feel good about where we are today, but we still got a lot of work to do.
There's a lot of schools, I think, that benefited pretty mightily from the idea of basically just like however much money your collective can raise, that's how good you can be. Do you think that this new, the way that we're doing things helps kind of increase the coach prime advantage that we might have in recruiting?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, as long as we all abide by the rules, we don't try to circumvent the cap that we've always historically done, which to me is mind-boggling. We all join the NCAA. We know what the rules are, but when we see a rule we don't like, we try to do something to get around it, and we got to stop doing that as an industry. But I do think, and look, it's never been a level playing field. I mean, let's take Texas as an example. Their budget's $240 million, ours is $140. However, with the cap being where it is, and we all have to abide by that. But I think all you guys know that there were people trying to give money ahead of time before the settlement was done, so they didn't have to count that in their cap. Again, a way to get around the rule, which I don't like. We didn't participate in that. But I think as we go out, the field's a little bit more level as far as those things go. We've still got to do a good job of supporting our student athletes, getting legitimate NIL deals. The businesses back in Denver and Boulder can really help us in that regard, and some of the national companies. But we're working hard on all of that because we want to be a big-time player as this industry moves forward.
We're obviously here at Big 12 Media Days. I'm curious, as a conference as a whole, how do you feel the Big 12 is kind of positioned to kind of continue to kind of keep up with, the SEC, the Big Ten? Commissioner Yormark yesterday said that he expects multiple CFP bids from the conference this season. Is that something you kind of share the belief in? And I guess kind of where do you just see the Big 12?
I do. I think we're positioned from top to bottom. We're a very strong conference. There's not an easy game on anybody's schedule when we're in conference play. And then, for us, we play Wyoming, we play Delaware, who's just come into FBS, and obviously Georgia Tech. And that was a desire of mine to have a game that we could actually play 35 years after we had the disputed national championship or the co-national champion. So I'm excited about that, and it's on the Friday night game, and so that's going to be fun. But this is going to be a hell of a year for us, and it's going to be an important year for us, and we've got to get off to a great start. And I think having 4 of 5 games at home, I think is going to be beneficial to us. It's going to allow us to get off to that start we need. And, the first 4 of our 5 games are on national TV, and that's going to bode well for our viewership numbers and all that. And all those things matter when you're having conversations about the future.
When it comes to scheduling, I mean, you just mentioned Delaware got moved up, obviously, but CU is one of 10, 12 programs this year playing a complete FBS schedule. In comparison to SEC, they always have that extra November game where they're playing the FCS.
Yep.
Do you think that'll help you this year? And then also with scheduling, I mean, do you think we could see a return of CSU or Nebraska on the schedule anytime soon?
Yeah, look, I think that strength of schedule is going to be really important this year in the CFP room. I served on that committee for 3 years, and playing those quality opponents, winning those games against quality opponents is going to be really beneficial. And if you think about the future, we've got Northwestern and Georgia Tech on the schedule next year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough. But I think it's good for us to be able to go to Chicago, an area where we've got a lot of alumni, a lot of donors, a lot of students that come to our school. Going down to Atlanta next year is going to be really good. So I think those are important games for us. We're one of the few, but we felt like we should schedule strongly because we know how important that's going to be moving forward, and I think we're going to be proven right on that point. Now we got to win those games, and that'll be thing. But we'll take care of business. I'm certain of that. And your second question was
Nebraska and CSU. Could we see them back on the schedule?
Look, you will. I think in 4 years we get CSU back on the schedule, and Nebraska not yet. We would love to play them. We'd love to play them every year. Because I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for the rivalry that Coach McCartney and Tom Osborne started years ago when he talked about the red letter and all that. My first day on the job, I had a red tie on, and that didn't go too well. I think you guys all got me on that one. Jerry Rutledge took care of me, though, with some ties. But anyway, so I'm excited about what's ahead.
Last time we had you on the show, we were at the Heisman after party.
Legendary
Don't
show,
tell anybody.
And we talked about what we're going to do with all these trophies. Do we have a plan for where all these new trophies are going from Travis Hunter and, of course, Shedeur as well?
Yeah, we do. We actually, if you walk in our Legacy Hall right now, there's no trophies in there. We've had to redo that whole place because there's some awards that we had not received before. We've got 2 Heismans now, so we're changing that whole area down there, and it's going to be really a great showcase.
Are we calling it Hunter Hall now?
Well, we talked about just giving him his own room because he got every award out there, but we decided not to do that. But it's going to be on display down there by the time the season starts.
Awesome.
The Hunter House. Like I said. Did I hear you say that you were on the CFP committee a few years ago?
I was for 3 years.
A little before your time.
A little bit. What is that like? Can you kind of take us a little bit and kind of what are those discussions like as you guys as a group, as a committee, you're trying to decide, who ends up in
Look, and one thing I'll say is that I think as I've looked at it, and I've looked at it since I've been there, and before that, I think we've always gotten it right. There's a lot of controversy around it, obviously, with different things when Florida State didn't get in and all that. But it's a really important job, and it's an honor. And I say job, we don't get paid for it, but it's a lot of work because if you're doing and fulfilling your responsibility, you're looking at a lot of film, you're looking at a lot of data. We have somebody a couple people that are in charge of every major conference and the group of 5. And we're looking at that, so they make a report. But it's great discussion that you have in the room, but you don't know how anybody votes.
Right.
Because when you vote, you lay them out there, and here's the 4, and you put them in order, and then there's some matrix behind that determines 1 through 4. But it's a process, and it takes time, and it's a lot of work. And I know there'd be nights, particularly on the championship weekend, all you're doing is watching games, and then when a game's over, you're getting back into the room and you're having conversations about that game, and then at the end of the night, my last year on the committee is when Dion. We hired Dion that night.
Hell of a night.
Yeah, it was a hell of a night. Well, it really wasn't until he called me like 11 o'clock. I'm like, where in the hell's been this phone call, man? We already announced you're coming. But we finally got that done. But, yeah, just in that room, you know, there's just a lot of conversation, and everybody's opinion matters. Everybody has a different way that they look at it. Some may spend more time on data than they do film, and some have a mix. And I had a notebook, you know, that was about 4 or 5 inches wide that I'd go through and watch the top teams almost every weekend, and it does require a lot of time, but it's really important work.
That's fascinating. Yeah, that's not an easy job.
No, but it was one of the greatest honors that I've had in my life, is to be able to serve on that.
A couple of quick ones. The hill, you know, with the Colorado in Folsom, is that now part of the turf?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
It's fantastic.
Let's
so all the
go.
students that jump over, you still aren't going to have a lot of cushion when you're rushing the field, so don't do it. But it's really great, and the look of it is fantastic. But, yes, we turfed it because a lot of, you know, if you think how close that is to the field and you run and catch a pass in the end zone and you go up that hill, it's slick. And I mean, I remember when I was up there, I can't remember the year that we went to I guess it was 2016. And I'm on the hill in a boot trying to get the students, and then I start sliding down the hill when they rushed over me like they didn't listen and give me a minute to get out of the way, but they didn't. And so, yeah, it's dangerous. So now it looks great, and it looks like it should look.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
And we talked about the same thing with safety, and then also like you don't have to repave it and the cracks and all that. How about West Side expansion? You know, how are we feeling about that?
Look, it's something that we need to do. You know, we've had multiple discussions with our president, our chancellor, our regents, and the three of those, I don't want to call them buckets, but they've been incredibly supportive of what we're doing. You know, the turf, the scoreboard, looking at the West Side. We have a great plan for the West Side, I will tell you that. That's going to be impactful financially. It's going to be great for the students because there will be a pass-through. Right now they have to go around Carlson Gym to get to the north or the south side of campus or the north side, and it'll be a thoroughfare for the students on a daily basis with some quick service restaurants in there that are open. So there's a lot of things that we want to do over there. Hopefully in sometime this year we'll get some approvals to move forward on what we want to do there.
Nice. Last one for me. I would be remiss if I didn't ask on behalf of the fans. How are we feeling about Ralphie going into the season?
Oh, yes.
Ralphie. Love her. She needs to run better. And she's actually doing really well. And I know that's an important part for our fans to have Ralphie that's out there inspiring our team and our fans. And I think she'll be back in a good place.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Rick.
Man.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Always awesome having Rick on the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much you can ask Rick George.
Yes.
He's just, you know, he has his hands in so many different areas, and he's done such a great job, you know, over this Coach Prime era. But, yeah, I mean, the whole time he was sitting here, I was like, ooh, I have another one.
Same.
I have another one.
Literally, I told you guys, I was like, when he sat down, I was like, oh, man, I can think of one question. Then he just starts talking. It's like, oh, we can have him here for an hour.
I absolutely love that Colorado in the back of that end zone is now turf. Because we talked about it multiple times on the show. When I first got here, like that was like one of the first things. I'm like, that looks like a safety hazard. Like I don't know if people have gotten injured before, but like if I was playing like that would scare me going into that end zone. Like especially receivers, DBs trying to make plays in the red zone, in the back of the end zone. But now that that's turf, it already looks amazing with the black turf and the Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's safer, I just love that kind of small. I don't even know if it's small, but just kind of changed the Folsom field. I love it.
Totally, and like every 3 years, it would start to fade a little bit, not look as good. Like now, it's going to be that vibrant. It's going to look incredible on camera.
Also, just him talking about like the revenue sharing area and stuff. I mean, we've spoke about it, but it really seems like Colorado, as a university, just focused really on that era, and I mean, they were ready.
I was going to ask this, and then there was just so much else to talk about. But I was going to ask, like, if this is one of the more proud kind of moments of his time as AD, because I feel like Colorado was as prepared, if not more prepared, than any other school in the country. They, for whatever reason, seem to have a step on the competition in terms of, like, this is going to happen. We got to prepare for it. Put a kind of a task force in charge of that, and then were never caught off guard, or like the second they turned it on, they were ready to go. And I thought that was very good, just management on the part of the athletic department. And of course, Rick George is in charge of that.
Shout out RG, man.
Totally. All right, we got Jordan Seaton now.
What's in the bag, seat?
New leader of the team. Ready?
This is a funny one.
Here he is. What's in the bag, seat? What's up, man? How you doing?
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Doing good, bro.
Out here representing the Buffs. You know, last year was Shador, Shiloh, I think Mate. Now you're out here. How's that feel?
It feels good. It's kind of a full circle moment. Getting to see those guys do it and then being able to do it is just like blessed, you know?
I was just talking to someone from CU, and they're like, I have to remind myself sometimes that Jordan's still a sophomore.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to remind yourself that? Because it kind of to me feels like you're like the veteran on the team right now.
Yeah, I think I didn't have a chance to, I had a chance to grow, of course, but
it was a microwave process.
Like fire.
2 weeks of freshman.
Yeah.
You know? And then it's just, get active.
Obviously, what way would you say you've evolved the most since then? I mean, a lot of people have been talking on social media. Physically, you look like you've evolved quite a bit. But is that the direction you say you've kind of evolved the most, or would it be another?
So physically, yes, but more so mentally and how I attack everything. I do everything with purpose. Everything, like from what I eat to what I drink to what time I wake up to how long I stretch. Like everything is a plan for something else. So I feel like now, like me and Swayze set up a plan that I follow daily, and it's been working.
Yeah, clearly.
So, it's been working.
What impact has Swayze had on you in his short time here in Colorado so far?
Great impact. He pushes me, and even when I think I like I'm working hard enough, it's just like it's not enough for him. So you just end up attaining new limits that you didn't know you have, which is like always good. So it's just like I'm very grateful for Coach Prime and Swayze.
There was a moment, I think it was Coach Swayze's first day with you guys, working you out way back in January or something, and he's kind of just setting the tone, setting his expectations for y'all, and he calls for a break, and he's like, I don't really know what y'all are doing, and you step in there and kind of lead the break, It seemed to me like that was a big moment, just because you're really taking the reins with this leadership thing. Just how has that gone so far for you?
It's been going well. I've been trying to talk more. My coach wants me to talk more, but I like to lead with my actions and how I do things. And then if I see something that's not like what we stand for, then say it and then speak my mind to whatever's going on. But as far as the leadership, I just been just leading by my actions, and then people pick up from what you do. Sometimes your mama be like, don't do what I say. Do what I say, don't do what I do.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just the opposite for me. I'm gonna do both, but if you see it, then you could believe it.
Facts.
Speaking of leading by example, I've been covering media days like this for a long time. You guys come out from Colorado, you got a long day ahead of you. It's kind of a day off from the normal grind, but you did something this morning that I don't think I've seen before. What were you doing before you got here?
We just got up and worked out. I was waiting on Coach in the locker. In the lobby. So we got after it, because missing a day and going back to Swayze is like a week off.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Where'd you go? What was that like?
I'm training at the Star, right here in Frisco. So it was good. They got one of the best facilities out, and just making sure I'm reaching my max velocity on bench press, making sure I'm able to move, just the tedious little things like ankles, knees, a lot of hip flexion, just being able to be a big, flexible, fast guy.
Colorado picked up a commitment this week in the 2026 class, an offensive lineman, Xavier Payne. He talked about that when he was on his visit to see you, y'all really kind of locked in and really spent some time together. What was that like? Why did you feel it was important to kind of make him feel comfortable? And what's been your message to him and other guys as they are interested in looking at Colorado?
Yeah, he was actually having a meeting with Coach Gunner, and I didn't know they were in there. I was just hanging up a poster that me and the other offensive linemen had put together of our 3 core values we wanted. So I go in there, hang it up, and I happen to see him. I'm like, shit, 6'8", 6'8", 6'9",
Facts.
huge. I'm like, what in the world? so then I just asked him. They were on the board, so I was just wondering like how he thinks, and I was just telling him like that works for now, but then like this is how you should do it. So then I just redid what he did in college football terms and like NFL ready terms that he needs to know. And then from there he was willing to learn, and glad he picked the best school in the world.
Love it.
Hell yeah. You got, at least, probably 2 more years of college ahead of you. But, I talk about it on this show, and I don't want to gas you up too much, but, I feel like you could be a first-round pick if you were in this year's draft. I'm just curious, when your goals and kind of dreams are in front of you, but there's that much time, what is your mindset? What do you think about on a day-to-day basis when it comes to, making it to the next level and kind of living your dream?
Yeah, that's good. Recently, I just had to start focusing on now. Coach always says, be where your feet at. You can always think about the future, but you're not there. And then you think about the future, you miss out on the stuff you're supposed to be doing right now to get to where you want to go in the future. So I just focus on the now, and everything that I want in the future will come because I'm doing everything I need to do in that moment, winning the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Last year, obviously, you guys had your struggles at times in the offensive line.
Yeah.
Kind of redone room with the transfer portal and some new guys in there. Just what's that been like? Does last year motivate you guys, and also just what's it like been working with everyone this season so far?
I think last year kind of showed us last year's. Say that question one more time.
I mean, were you motivated by last year? The guys in the room right now, even though a lot of them weren't here for last year.
Okay, so you say, are we motivated by last season?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we are motivated by last season, but not only last season, more so internally, we always been called the worst offensive line or this, everything that involved the O-line ended with worse, less, not good enough. So it's us is more so a pride thing. We're not worse, we're not less. We're actually going to be the best and better than whoever you put in front of us,
Yeah. Last question, before we probably let you get up out of here. You announced recently the first annual Jordan Seaton Elite Football Camp.
Yeah.
Back at the crib.
Yeah.
Why are you excited about that, and tell the people about that?
Oh, yeah, so I'm going to have my first youth camp ever.
Bro, you are youth.
I know, which is crazy to me.
Right.
Because I grew up going to these type of camps, and these camps are very beneficial for me. Yeah. So, I'm having my first youth camp ever, and it's going to be good. Get to give back. It's free. We're going to have a lot of youth there. And I had almost it was 140 people sign up in the first day.
Wow. That's what's up.
And I think we're going to cap out at 300 because that's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So we're off to a good start. I just can't wait to get down there and go back home, see my family, my friends, all the people who are willing to show up,
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what I was talking about when I said you have to remind yourself of sophomore, because that is not sophomore behavior, but hey, you're past that. So
yes, sir, bro.
We appreciate you coming on, man, and
always.
We'll see you around.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's the leader of your football team.
It's a grown man right there.
Yep. Will probably go down as the most important recruit of the Coach Prime era.
100%.
Obviously, Shador and Travis were transfers.
Mm-hmm.
Julian Lewis will have something to say about that, I have a feeling, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you'll be able to point back and say, is there a Julian Lewis without a Jordan Seaton? And kind of just draw back to just about everything.
Right.
And we've talked about that a couple times, but the more I talk to him, the more I realize just what type of gravity he has. I mean, he is a really, really special player, really special person, a really once-in-a-lifetime level offensive lineman that's playing at Colorado, and his legacy here is going to be incredibly vast.
That's why I had to take yesterday. I'm like, if there is a Mount Rushmore of the Coach Prime era at Colorado, Jordan Seaton's face is on it. And some people are like, how could you say that? He's only played one season of college football. That's because it's not just about what he's done on the football field, which is be a freshman All-American. It's what he's done on the recruiting trail. It's what he's done as a leader. It's what he's done helping this team go to the next chapter of its program that doesn't involve Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and Cameron Suman-Craig and those other guys. Like, Jordan Seaton is the face from a player perspective of this program right now. Yep. And he is the face that you would want, representing your program, your team, your company, whatever. He is that type of guy. And I love, too, getting his side of the story, meeting Xavier Payne, where he said, again, pretty much echoed what Xavier said, like, Jordan was not there to help with the recruiting of Xavier Payne. He was in the offensive line room putting up a poster. He said, what is this 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" dude up in here? I'm gonna chop it up with him, and ended up giving him game. You know what I'm saying? They're watching the film together, and Seats help him breaking down his game, telling him what's going to work, what's not going to work at the next level. This is a grown man in I don't know how he is, 18, 19-year-old body. It's really impressive to see.
It's rare. You mentioned
rare.
the gravity that he has. I mean, Coach Prime has it, and it makes sense why they found each other ultimately, right?
Yep, 100%.
And it makes sense, why Coach Prime in Colorado recruited him so hard when they really had nothing going for them in terms of offensive line, a year and a half ago, whenever it was that Jordan was deciding to commit. And it's just, you had two great people who got together and realized we could do something special, and that's exactly what's going on.
And somebody, I see it on your screen in the chat, mentions Gearhead, talking about Xavier Hill. Putting him at left guard next to Jordan Seaton, somebody who is, I believe, the number 2 returning highest graded tackle in the Big 12. Obviously, he's going to be playing left guard for Colorado. Started 26 straight games, a 2-time first-team All-AAC pick. Like, putting somebody, I think Xavier Hill's a future pro. Putting another future pro on the left side of the line next to Jordan Seaton is going to be nasty, and it's going to benefit them both greatly.
You want to run the ball? Run that way.
That away.
Yep.
That away.
All right, chat has spoken. It's going to be Kaidon up first.
Okay,
right.
chat.
All right.
Ready? Here he is. We got one of the quarterbacks here at Media Day, Kaidon Salter, representing the Buffs, man. Good to see you, bro. How's it been going this last summer?
Good to see y'all, too. It's been going amazing.
How's it? What's it kind of like being here, wearing a Colorado uniform, representing the Buffs, being here with your teammates?
I mean, it feels amazing. Just honored to be here. I mean, with my first year being here and just the exposure that I have, being here to come out and lead and speak for the University of Colorado and the Buffs, and very excited to be here with me and my players, and was very honored that Coach Prime picked me to come here and do this.
Does it feel like the season's getting close, bro? Does it feel like it's getting here and it's almost that time for you?
Yeah, most definitely. It's almost that time. Just taking it one day at a time. Can't rush it, but when it comes, and we got to be ready for it.
Most definitely.
I mean, we're about, 50-some days away from Georgia Tech. I just want to ask you about the quarterback competition. I mean, you and JuJu, it seems like you guys have been neck and neck, so far since both of you all showed up. Just how's this summer gone, working with him and also competing at the same time?
Yeah, it's been amazing, just being in and coming in and competing for a spot is all fun. Me and JuJu, we're out there competing, but each and every day we're having fun with each other. We're uplifting each other. We're rooting for each other, and it's going both ways. So just if I see something that he can fix, I'm letting him know. If he sees something I can fix, he's letting me know. So it's at the same time we're competing, but we're also having fun with it, and we're helping each other out at the same time.
What has Coach Prime kind of told you guys about what he's looking for? What does he want to see from you two?
He just wants to see a leader that's going to go out and complete passes and make plays for the team. Just a guy that's going to route the team up when it needs to be and be there when we're having our ups and when we're having our downs. So just an overall leader and a player that's going to come out and execute the plays and do what we have to do to win games.
We talked to DJ recently about the quarterback situation. He was like, they're competing. It's competitive, but it's not combative at all. Why do you think it's been able to be like that between you two and the rest of the guys in the room?
Of course, just I'm kind of the older guy in the room, but I guess I'm the vet. But just being there for JuJu. I remember when I was a freshman coming in, not knowing a lot of the things, so I'm able to mentor him, and I feel like I'm a great mentor. So just we're just going out and having fun. That's what football is, and that's what we're making it. We're keeping it simple and just going out, competing and having fun while doing it.
Definitely.
nationally, a lot of people look at the receivers who were drafted last year, right, and they say, maybe CU's lacking a little bit of firepower compared to last year. Just what have you seen from that receiving room? What's it been like working with those guys so far?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have some very great receivers, very explosive, very, very top-notch receiver that wants the ball, that's want to go up and get it, that wants the ball in their hands so they can make plays after the catch. And just we got kids like Draylon Miller, Amari Miller, just brung in Sincere Brown. We got Terrell, just little Q for 6, little hitter. I mean, we got very fast, explosive group of receiver that wants to go out and play and catch the ball around, score touchdowns, and that's what you're going to see this year.
What kind of new teammates have you found yourself gravitating towards hanging out with, on the weekends? Who kind of your guys?
I mean, I'm kind of an old head now, so I'm very ducked off on the weekends. But if anything, my little brother goes there and we live with each other, so he's the one who I spend most of my time with. But other than that, every now and then I pull up on some of the guys, play the video game. Was planning go spend time with JuJu maybe 2-3 weeks ago over at his apartment. But every now and then I go shoot a text to somebody, let me pull up, we play the game or whatever. This, that, the third, we go probably go get something to eat. But yeah, the most person I spend time with has to be my little brother right now, and just bringing in and enjoying all that in with me being my last year and my first year being able to play with my little brother.
What's that been? We've seen a lot of Kylan kind of hype. It seems like he's doing really well. I know he went through some stuff at TCU. Just what can you tell us about him? What kind of player he is, what we're going to see on the field from him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my little brother, he's a dog. Since birth, he's been a dog. He was one of the ones that never skipped the push-ups at night, never skipped the up-downs. He never cheated his work. I watched his grind since he was a baby. So just all the injuries that he's been throughout, tearing his ACL and meniscus in high school, then going back to college his freshman year and doing it again. He's a fighter. I mean, I guess it runs in our blood. I got a family full of fighters, but my little brother, he's most definitely a dog. He'll be prepared this year. He's just been waiting for his moment, and I feel like University of Colorado gave him that opportunity, and he's gonna go out and take full advantage of it.
I'm excited to see Kylan. I'm curious, Kaidon, anybody who's watched you over the last couple of years that literally knows you're a really explosive athlete, a dual threat, real weapon at the quarterback spot. What do you think, though, is maybe an underrated part of your game that you're kind of excited to show the world, the college football world, the football world here at Colorado this year?
I still feel like overall I'm an underrated player, so I just got to go out there and play the best of my ability this season and put on that same year but even better than I had at that 2023 state. I mean, I'm playing with a better team, a better coaching staff, better players, and a team that wants it more. Just being able to play behind this staff that loves the game of football and playing behind these players that's going to work each and every day to help me be better and for me to help be better it's all a blessing. So like I said, overall, I feel like I got a lot to prove to not only me and myself, but a lot of the fans, my friends, my family, my coaches, and everybody else who's watching.
No shade to any previous places you've been at, but does this kind of feel like the most talent, player-wise, coaches-wise, that you've kind of been around? And what do you think, if so, that'll kind of help unlocking your game?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Over at Liberty, we had a great coaching staff, great players there, but, of course, bumping up from the G5 level to the P4 level you're going to have those faster players and those bigger physical players that's maybe more prepared. But you most definitely see it when working with different receivers and watching the O-line put in the work that they put in and going against those powerful, fast defensive linemen and faster linebackers and bigger, lankier, taller corners. It's a big difference that you see, and I see it. But, once the season starts, I just got to be able to progress every game while picking up the different speed and pace of it.
Definitely.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to Shador about what that transition was like going up to Power 4?
No, sir.
Okay.
Jordan, he's kind of emerged as a leader of this team. He's going to be protecting your blind side, obviously. What's it been like working with him, kind of watch him, take the reins and be a real leader as a young guy, too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just being able to watch Jordan, his body has transformed into a monster. Just the weight that he's losing and the muscle that he's gaining has been very fun to watch, and it's even better watching just because I know that he's one of the guys that's blocking for me. And even the new offensive linemen that we bring in, they're all fighting. We have literally like 10 O linemen in that room. I was looking the other day. I'm like, only 5 of y'all started, so who wants it more type. So, but I feel like everybody's eating in that offensive line room. Jordan, he's most definitely one of the guys that stands out the most, but still got guys like Big Zai, X Hill, and Yo-Yo. I mean, it's a room full of monsters, so we just wait for the season and watch them dominate.
What impact has Swayze had, do you think, on you yourself and kind of the team this offseason kind of coming in?
Coach Swayze, he's an amazing coach. He lets us know what we have to do each and every day, so we come in with the right mentality of killing that. And just being able to work with him, you can tell he's going to have us mentally faster and stronger than ever. So just, last year we kind of raised with the most penalty yards or something like that. I read about Coach Swayze. He's one of the guys that's going to make sure that doesn't happen again with the discipline that he's been putting upon us, and just all of the hard work and things that he's making us do. Make sure that we fix a lot of mistakes that we had last year, discipline-wise, and just go out and be a better team overall.
What's the favorite thing outside of football, outside of campus, whatnot? What's been your favorite part about living in Boulder?
I mean, just hanging around with the guys, I guess, and going. I like to bowl. I'll hit up a few guys to try to go bowling with or whatever.
You nice?
But yeah, on the lanes? I'm pretty good. Only 190 like my highest.
Okay.
That's
but I few strikes, 2-3 spares. I'll be good. I try to just make sure I hit every pin down on each one. Try not to do no gutter balls, and you will be pretty good.
Yeah. I love it. We'll let you go, man. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you very, very soon back in Boulder, bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
We'll be talking about a different type of bowling in a few months.
Yes, sir. You know it. There he is, Kaidon Salter.
Great stuff, man.
Very mature. I think that's a great – I mean, I've said this multiple times as well. Like, Coach Prime has not given this fan base any room to be really worried about this quarterback situation. He talked about it a little bit earlier. Coach Prime did. He was like, we going to be good either way with either one of them. Potentially with both of them.
I think he said
we're
we
going to be
can't
good.
lose either way.
Yeah, I think you're right. He did. And I completely agree with him. Obviously, these guys have different skill sets, but I think the juxtaposition of Kaidon being a really experienced veteran to go with kind of Julian's kind of youth and his crazy potential. This quarterback room, somebody said earlier, I mean, can't think of quarterback room in the Big 12 is better in terms of starter, backup, or 1-2, right?
Yep.
2-1, 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it.
I love what he said about the team just in terms of the overall talent level, too. Being one of the most talented team that he's played on, I mean, that stands out. Coaches included. I mean, those Liberty teams, 2 years ago, that was a pretty good team, and they were pretty successful before that. Even last year, they weren't I guess I was saying BCS, New Year's Six Bowl team, but they were a tough out for a lot of people, and Kaidon was a big reason why.
Definitely.
Also, speaking about the wide receivers and then saying that Colorado's offensive line is a room full of monsters. I mean, how are you not excited after hearing all that?
We heard the first Q6 mentioned as well there.
Yep.
From Kaidon.
You'll hear from JuJu about him as well, but what was the term he used for what he does on the weekends?
He just be ducked off.
Ducked off, bro. Just ducked off.
Very ducked off. I like that. I don't like my quarterback in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
No.
With teammates, chilling, staying out the way, ducked off. We love to hear it.
Got real used to that with Shador.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I've seen some quarterbacks who were whatever the opposite of ducked off is on the weekends.
Right. Another thing I just thought about too, like Kaidon last year at Liberty, especially when the elite talent around him left at the 2023 season, his leading receiver, his starting left tackle left. Last year, when you were playing against Liberty, from a defensive standpoint, your entire game plan, stop number 7.
Yep, we are stopping
the
this
quarterback.
guy.
And I don't think you're going to be able to really do that here at Colorado. Again, with the talent around him, with the receivers that he's going to have, with some of the weapons even out of the backfield, I think a Trackhawk, his ability to catch passes and be just really explosive, getting chunked plays and whatnot, I think that's just all going to really help Kaidon really shine.
I can't wait for the first time that Kaidon fakes a handoff, pulls it, starts to take off, corner busts down, and he just flips it out to Q for 6, and it's Q for 6.
And then he's going to be at hands off.
All right. We also spoke to Julian Lewis.
Sure.
Very, very, very impressive young man.
I mean, we talked about reminding yourself that Jordan's a sophomore. You got to remind yourself that Julian should be getting ready for his senior year of high school right now.
Yep.
Insane.
crazy.
It is. Whenever you're ready, Alyssa. Here is JuJu. Julian JuJu Lewis joining the show here at CU, or Big 12 Media Days representing CU. First off, how does that feel, representing the program as a true freshman?
Honestly, I mean, it would kind of surprise me a little bit, but I mean, it was an honor. I mean, they told me I was definitely extremely excited.
Bro, I would have worn my sunglasses so I knew you were bringing this out.
My bad, guys.
What's going on
My
here?
bad. Just some chill. We can hide it under the table.
Don't hide it, man. Let the camera see what you got.
My bad.
Let's Hey, Ju, I'm curious, bro. When you were going through your recruitment, obviously, I know you and your pops have a really close relationship. Did Coach Prime during the recruiting process at all really remind you of your pops, or like just the relationship even that he had with Shedeur at all? How did you kind of formulate that in your mind?
I mean, he kind of, I could see it a little bit, but I mean, Shedeur and me talked about it. Like, we had a completely different path, so It's kind of, we can't really compare how our dads treated each other. My dad's not coaching me anymore, of course.
Yeah.
Didn't coach me in high school or anything like that. But, no, definitely him and my dad had a good connection, and when they sat down and talked, my dad, I think he kind of flipped my dad's mind probably day one, honestly.
Yeah.
But I had to say coming back after that conversation, but no, definitely.
How you think he did that in terms of flipping your pop's mind?
Honestly, probably just honesty, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Coach Prime always keeps it 100 with everybody, and I think my dad definitely respected that, and I mean, shoot, he fell in love with it, so did I. So
that's dope.
We're here.
Yeah.
One of the things that kind of Coach Prime talks about when he talks about recruiting is like he doesn't promise anyone anything, and I feel like that goes along with the fact that you commit to Colorado and now you're in a quarterback competition. Like, does that kind of line up with what you expected when you talked to him about coming here and, you know, having to earn what you get?
No, definitely. I mean, I expected them to bring somebody else in. I mean, we lost a couple guys. I didn't expect them to bring in a guy like Kaidon Salter to come compete with me. But, no, it's definitely a blessing coming in with this opportunity. I mean, you can't beat this.
You are obviously, projected to be a big piece of this team as a true freshman, but there's a lot of y'all too, and on the defense as well. London, Alex, those type of guys, even TJ. Just what can you say about you guys as a freshman class? Like, how have you kind of assimilated in, and what impact do you think you guys can make this season?
Shoot, I mean, offensively, the freshmen we got, we got Quentin Gibson, Q for 6, National Player of the Year right there, and then.
Why does everyone smile when they say his name?
I love Q. But, we got Q, we got Chauncey Gooden, Carday Smith. We got a couple tight ends. I mean, offensively, we're definitely going to be on some rotation type stuff, but I mean, that's understood for freshmen. But I think we got a couple guys that can make an impact. And of course, defensively, we got Antonio Branch Jr., 6'3" safety. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat those. And
a hitter too,
a real one, and then two IMG boys, of course, in the front. I don't like talking about defensive line too much, but
fair enough. That's what's up. Hey, when spending time around Coach Prime and Coach Shermer, what do you think they ultimately want, and whoever is under center for them? What do they want, week in, game out, game in, game out from their guy under center at quarterback?
I think they made it notice that they want somebody who's going to take control of the team, right? They want that leader, that guy that can fill Shedeur's shoes and stuff like that. And right now, they got two guys trying to do it, so it's like eventually, of course, they're going to have to separate, and I understand that. But I think they just want a leader, somebody who's going to push us to win as many games as possible.
Right. Was there a challenge into coming in right out of high school and trying to kind of assume that leadership role as young as you are, especially in the spring?
I think to an extent, but that's kind of part of the job, right? Is like that quarterback, you have to come in and lead, have to come in. Nobody wants to sit the bench ultimately. I say that every time I get in an interview. It's like, I have no choice, so it's like I'm not going to complain or say anything about it. Like, I got to do what I got to do.
To follow up on that, do you feel a little bit more comfortable maybe in that role now, like going into fall camp?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I came in, my finger was broken. I couldn't practice, so I was really just standing around like this 5-star kid coming to watch our practice. Like, it felt like I was still a recruit, but no, definitely in the team now.
What's the biggest thing you think you've learned about yourself, or just maybe college football these last 7-8 months, however long you've been in Boulder?
What have I learned about myself? Honestly, that I don't need other people. Like, I think in high school, I kind of surrounded myself with an interesting group of people. High school, you try to enjoy it, have fun, party, and crazy stuff like that. But I've realized that you can find happiness through trust and friends and stuff like that. Like, just having my dogs over at night is enough for me now. So that's good.
Who's coming over?
Shoot, Chauncey Q for 6. Chauncey Q for 6.
Big smile again.
Every time, dude.
Chauncey Q for 6. You know, really the whole freshman class, Cardea be there. I mean, we kind of all group up at my house every night, but
that's dope.
It's awesome.
Hey, speaking of that, we've talked to a handful of recruits, like 2026 recruits this offseason, and they've mentioned, like, when they're in Boulder on visit sometime, like, they're at your crib, like, and you're hosting them all now. Why do you do that? Why do you feel like that's important?
Of course, I mean, you know, we only bring big dogs in for recruitment stuff.
Right.
And, I mean, of course, the O-linemen and the guys like that, y'all boys come over. Like, let's hang out, chit-chat a little bit, you know, just so they can get to experience what it's like actually moving. And I think at times recruits, they hang out with the older guys that have been there for a while, and, like, they don't really – I mean, they can't really explain the situation, so, I mean, come hang out with the freshmen that just got here. We'll show you what it's like.
That's what's up. To kind of go with that, too, like, this is your recruiting class right now, like, originally, right, since you reclassified.
Yes,
I mean, you know a lot of these guys. You've seen the names, the stars coming in. Just what would be your message to those guys who are being targeted by Colorado and want to come to Colorado?
Shoot, I tell guys everywhere, I mean, if you want a pro-style coaching staff, I mean, this is the place to come. I mean, I don't think we have more Hall of Famers than I've ever seen in person in my life. I mean, former NFL coaches, former NFL players. I mean, so y'all want to come be coached by the best and shoot, try to compete for a Big 12 championship. Y'all come on.
What do you think of Boulder so far?
No, I love it. I mean, it's so calm, and I mean, you feel the eyeballs, right? But people don't come bother you and do crazy stuff. You definitely a good place to come in and relax.
Are you ever taken aback sometimes when you're out there on the field just by the sheer size of the guys in front of you, offensive line like C and Zai, they 6'7", 6'5", 300+ pounds. What are your thoughts of behind that, being protected by that offensive line?
Oh no, you definitely feel very perfect back there. Honestly, like if I had to say something, I mean, it's definitely a lot different than high school. I mean, the D line's a lot bigger too, but I mean, trusting, like you said, Zai, JC. I mean, we got so many portal guys too.
Right.
Like, it's no telling. I think our front 10 could come in and play in the Big 12 anywhere.
Yeah. Kind of going alongside with that, the running game been a big topic. Marshall Faulk comes in and you're lining up next to them in the backfield. What have you seen from Dallin, Micah, DeKalen, and Marshall in that group at this point?
I think the running backs kind of treat their situation like me and K Salt. Like I think they all understand like the best man is going to play. Like they're not complaining about reps. They're not complaining about things like. We brought in my guy from Coastal Carolina. I mean, and they kind of welcomed him in super fast. I mean, now he's back with us. PLP, he's ready to play.
What was your reaction, going just a little bit back to your recruitment, when you show up in Boulder and there's signs and there's people chanting your name and there's a burger named after you at a restaurant? Like, what did that feel like?
Honestly, it was overwhelming. I mean, initially, right, like it's like, wow, they just made a burger, like the Precision Pass burger. That's nice. I didn't even eat the burger on accident, but no, I mean, it was a blessing. It was definitely exciting. I mean, it's hard not to be overwhelmed with joy when people show you that type of affection and just show that they want you that bad. I mean, it was nice.
I think you're gonna have a biased answer here, maybe, but who got the best high school football?
Texas.
Ooh,
wow!
I got
okay.
I think Texas, LA, and Florida. But
I love the objectivity.
I think last year was kind of hard to like that Texas football. Like I loved watching Quentin and
Duncanville
and all those last games. Like I mean, I don't think there's more exciting ball anywhere.
That's what's up.
I gotta peel this back on Quentin. Everyone's talking about Quentin. What is it about him? What makes him special?
I mean, the kid's so joyous, right? I mean, he's brings a smile to our face every time we talk about him. I mean, he gets on the field, he's still laughing and giggling, but he's best player in the country. Like, I mean, that's just his vibe. I mean, I could chill with Q all day if I needed to.
About 50 days out from Georgia Tech, what's the feeling going into your first college game?
The feelings. Honestly, I mean, of course, there's some jitters, but, I mean, ultimately excitement. I mean, we don't know who's going to be playing or not, but regardless, I'm excited to go out there with the guys and just, do what we've been working for all offseason. I mean, the winter workouts weren't sweet. The summer workouts aren't sweet. So, I mean, we put in a lot of work to get to where we got to get to, so excited.
Love it. Thanks, Julian.
Perfect. Awesome, man. Thanks.
Appreciate you, JuJu.
Of course.
With character.
Yeah, all these guys, man, just special young men. And I'm adding Quentin Gibson to my list.
He was already on your list.
I know. He actually was my number one pick in the my guy. I'm just saying, in terms of like he must just be a great kid. We haven't met him yet.
Yep.
And the way that everyone lights up when they talk about him is hilarious to me.
Well, we were watching Well Off yesterday.
I was just about to go
and
there.
They were running sprints, and if you guys saw it, JuJu was trying to, I guess pick on him a little bit, trying to rib him, like, I'll beat you in this one, like this rep, and Quentin stood on business, laid it down. I'm just trying to make y'all work.
I love it, man.
They are hilarious. And 2 quarterbacks in a row mentioned the word like 10, the number 10 in terms of guys in that offensive line room that they feel really good about. I think what it was, we have the quote right here, just went on our Twitter. JuJu goes, definitely feel perfect back there. And that was after Kaidon goes, it's a room full of monsters. Like having 10 guys, that depth on the offensive line up front, protecting those 2 guys in particular, is, I think, going to be the biggest change that we see in Colorado from 2024 to 2025. This offensive line is going to be strong.
Yes. No one's ready for this team.
I don't think so either. Back to JuJu really quick, man. Just we talked about it before the interview, but like that is a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, man.
And hearing it back, I think I was even more impressed than I was in the moment of just like how well he handles himself.
Yep.
Even I've talked to freshmen halfway through their freshman year that weren't, as locked in as he feels right now. Yeah. And I do think that it had to be really tough for him to walk onto campus, leave high school one day, you're on campus the next day, and they're like, we need you to be the leader of this football team if you want to be the starter. And I just can't imagine that's a very easy thing to do, to just be like, well, I don't even know these guys yet. And I do feel like you might see a different side of him going into fall camp when it comes to that leadership aspect.
I think so, too.
I'm just excited to watch his progression the next 2.5 years at this point. I mean, if that's already where we're starting at, man, wait till he gets real confidence on the field against, other teams in college football. Man.
Shout out to both of them and that whole staff, the whole team, for allowing that quarterback competition to exist in a space that doesn't become toxic or combative. Like, these 2 dudes realize what's at stake here, and they want to win. And they realize that both of them are going to be important to this team winning. And the fact that I think they are being collaborative and working together, and, Kaidon's being a good vet and JuJu's being a good kind of understudy, this is playing out perfectly, I feel like, as well as the quarterback competition can at this point.
Yep.
Also, shout out to Unk, Herm, Curtis, everyone for helping us get all of those guys on the show today. We ended up getting every single Buff that's here at Media Day on this show. And that was awesome. It was great that we got to talk to the quarterbacks early, too, because I'm sure by the end of the day, they're real sick about talking about their quarterback competition. We might have been like the second people to ask them about it. But either way, just a great day out here, being able to interact with these guys. And we've said it a million times, but every single time we get a chance to dig a little deeper with one of these players, it just the with character part gets illuminated.
Yeah, truly.
Every time.
I mean, Coach Prime built a hell of a team, man.
Yep.
Again, people are not ready for this. No one here understands what is actually going on in Boulder right now and what is on that football team.
And for all the back and forth there's been about, the way that Coach Prime does things, no one can say anything about the quality of young man that he's brought to Boulder.
Oh, yeah.
And it's as high as I've ever seen. It's not just like, it's on par. Like, it is truly special how Coach Prime has been able to upgrade the talent and at the same time keep the character standard incredibly high, to where you have all of these players who, as an alum, we can be so proud that they're the ones representing our university, whether that's while they're on campus or when they go on to do the next big thing in their life, whether that's in the NFL or somewhere else. Like, those guys are always going to be Buffs, and it's cool that, you can be so proud that they wore Colorado across their chest.
No doubt.
Totally, man. It was a great day.
Fire day. What a day. What a beautiful last day of us here in Frisco, Texas. I loved it.
We didn't get a chance to talk about Hutchins Barbecue.
Oh, let's do that.
So quickly.
Let's do that.
It's up there for us. Maybe our favorite barbecue joint we've hit in all of our travels now.
I think so.
I think Jack Stack's going to be hard to beat for me anytime, and the hospitality that we got there is
10 out of 10.
Impossible for anyone else to try to even match.
For sure.
That being said, Hutchins, in terms of we were just regular people walking in there, the service, the food, the experience. They give you a little boat for your sides.
Yep.
And then the sides are served yourself, and they just say you can put as much as you want in there. So you like my biggest thing when I go to a barbecue restaurant is they got like 8 sides. I'm like, I want all 8.
Right. Totally.
Normally can't do it. This time we got to have all of them. Then at the end, complimentary dessert, an ice cream machine.
Don't just skip past that complimentary dessert, bro.
Yeah.
Because that banana pudding that I had last night, bro. Oh my God, Lord Jesus.
That was the part I was most jealous about. I saw the soft serve ice cream, and Scott started telling me about this banana pudding. I was like, God damn it.
The soft serve ice cream was on. I would go back right now and just get a side and some soft serve ice cream.
Shout out to Hutchins Barbecue.
You know what? Actually, shout out to y'all, though, for bringing me back some food. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
man.
I think that was mostly Alyssa. Shout out to Alyssa.
Shout out Alyssa. Thank you, Alyssa.
That's, yeah. The Texas Twinkie.
Mm-hmm.
You liked it, right?
I did.
Jalapeno. Stuffed with cream cheese. You guys know I love cream cheese. Brisket.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's wrapped in bacon.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Cooked on the griddle and then brushed in barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah, that was amazing. The potato salad was pretty
bro,
elite,
all
too.
the sides were fire, bro. The mashed potatoes were fire, bro. The mac and cheese, I wasn't too sure about the mac and cheese because, it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. But their mac and cheese was fire. All the sides were good. The brisket was, ooh-wee.
Someone in the comments mentioned Saucy's. I'm just talking about places we've traveled to. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
Saucy's is our go-to at the crib.
We got to take you there, Scotty.
I have to go there. You have to take me there.
Yeah, we'll do that soon. Super Chats. Let's go. All right. Oh, Lord. First one is from our guy, East Coast Kev. Always shout out to East Coast Kev. Big one, $50. Appreciate all the support.
Appreciate you, Kev.
I've never been so happy to have Coach Prime back. Have some Kurz lights on me. Hashtag suck pull drop. Hashtag run that mouth.
Run.
Let's go.
Oh, that's a hell of a comment, man. Thank you for
Kev.
For the generous super chat. We will have some Kurz lights on you.
Absolutely. Don Peasy, man. Shout out to Don Peasy as well. And he goes, I told you guys when Prime got there, and I'm telling y'all now, from the FDP to SDP, Jaquan, Unk, and RTM, RK, DNVR Buffs is the best college pod around. Let's go.
RTM, RK.
Run that mouth.
No. The abbreviation. See, enough, and this is starting saying the abbreviation now, RTM.
East Coast Kev again, my guy.
Kev.
Says, who I'm looking forward to the most for the future is Quentin Gibson, Quanell X, and London Merritt. True high school ballers. Then again, Coach Prime doesn't recruit high school kids, right? That's what they say, Kev.
Yep.
Just let them think that.
He might just recruit grown men. They just happened to be coming out of high school.
Yeah.
I mentioned it, too, before the show. You said we were watching Well Off last night.
Yeah.
London Merritt.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Looks
Alex
like
too.
a problem. Of course, yeah, Alex as well. But London, I mean, again, people might forget, this is a former Ohio State commit.
Yep.
London Merritt is. Scary.
We kind of haven't mentioned him much recently, but definitely don't forget about him.
Nope. Do not do that.
Don Peasy again. Crazy to think JuJu is just a freshman and won't turn 18 until halfway through the season, but it's crazier learning that Q for 6 just turned 17 on May 22nd.
What?
No way.
That's insane.
Damn.
Shout out to
Young
you, Don
demons.
Peasy.
Wow.
East Coast Kev once again. Appreciate you, East Coast Kev. Says, P.S. the On3 lames are wondering if the, quote, hype is gone since Travis and Shador are gone. The hype is still at CU. It's going to be different now with the G's we have playing. Stay tuned.
Somebody mentioned this, and it's so funny. For those guys to, like, the hype, Colorado's hype is dead.
They're just wish casting.
To do that while continuing to put out Colorado content because you know it's going to get clicks.
That's what On3 does.
It's hilarious.
It's nasty work.
It's hilarious.
Yep.
Because if the hype was really dead, you wouldn't be talking about them.
Totally.
Also, like, let us grind in silence.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need, cameras and everything all day, every day focused on Colorado. But people are going to have their eyes opened as soon as they get out there on that field.
I believe so as well. Gilly with the super chat. I love the interviews. These guys are pros. So excited to see this team in action. So are we, man.
And shout out to Unk for helping these guys and preparing them for these opportunities. And shout out to Coach Prime for empowering him to do so because I just don't know. Well, I can only speak to other coaching staffs that I've covered.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I remember there was like a day where they would have the players kind of get educated about media. I actually happened to be in the room one day, and they were like going through all the different types of media that you're going to run into. It's hilarious. But I just haven't seen it where, like, you know, they really take it seriously and go through the process of helping these guys represent themselves the best way that they possibly can when they get on a stage like this, and it goes a long way.
It's a new age program, bro. I mean, they're totally bought in on what college football is right now, and, you know, cashing in on your brand, building your brand, and all that, helping yourself out when it comes to NIL. Like, I mean, and that's stuff that takes you beyond college football too. So it's just different at CU. Don Peasy again.
Peasy.
How's JuJu got a baby face and a full mustache? He's baby grown for real, LOL. He is.
Nah, dead ass.
It's perfect. By the way, if you think that Julian Lewis is small, just go look at the picture that, I mean, it's in this thumbnail. We posted a picture of all those guys standing next to him. He's like just about head-to-head with DJ McKinney.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't want to hear anyone say JuJu's small anymore, bro.
That would just be a lie.
I think this is the last one from Northside. We need a South Park theme uniforms and field.
No, we don't.
Interesting.
We need South Park to just bring the Buffs in for something.
No, we need South Park to run that checkbook.
There you go. That too. That too, man. Man, that chat. That's it. That's a 100-minute show right there.
Wow.
Hit that like button. We got 1,700 people watching right now.
Yeah.
Smack that like button right now or on your way out. Drop a comment. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. This was a hell of a show. This was really fun today.
This was an all-timer, honestly.
Yeah, low-key. Especially with that open. Especially with that open. This is for sure all-timer.
We had that intro. We forgot to even do the regular intro because of that.
Oh, we did. We didn't do Buff.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, if you didn't catch the beginning of the show, as soon as this ends, go watch it.
Please.
Don Peasy, last-minute super chat. Just a super chat so East Coast Kev doesn't out super chat me, by the way, on 3 is late.
We'll keep this show going if you guys want to battle that out.
I mean, we've got nothing but time. I think we should hit some cornhole a little bit before we head out, maybe?
Yeah, or maybe we should just go to Hutchins.
We could.
Sheesh.
We could.
I'm going to be KO'd on that plane if I go to Hutchins. Boy.
What's the most live viewers DNVR ever had? Was it TCU postgame?
Yeah, TCU postgame was crazy. And then I think Media Day, first Media Day.
Pac-12 Media Day was massive, too.
Because we were just live for like 3 hours.
Yeah, it was so fun. Chat, greatly appreciate y'all, man. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
I won't, but you guys will. I'm moving tomorrow, so I would much rather be on the show with you guys. But officially going from one place to another, no more packing. I gotta actually finish that when we get home tonight, which sucks as well.
When the housewarming party, bro?
Hopefully very soon.
Say less.
Especially because I'm moving even closer to the office.
Oh, nice.
Before the season?
Definitely before the season.
Let's go. Chat, we love y'all, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
Up the
we all silly like the mayor.